The slow swelling reason your basement floor hides a rising water table from you, and in Devil's Lake, North Dakota, it swallowed 40,000 acres of farmland whole, drowned a highway under 15 feet of water, and forced families to jack their houses onto flatbed trucks and flee. Right now, under your feet, the same silent pressure is building. You just can't see it yet. And neither could they until it was already inside their walls. Devil's Lake doesn't drain. It has no river out, no creek, no spillway carved by nature. It sits in a bowl scraped out by a glacier 11,000 years ago, sealed shut on every side by higher ground. For most of the last century, that didn't matter. The lake was small, quiet, forgettable. Then in 1993, it started rising. Not a little, not for one wet season. It rose almost continuously for over a decade, swelling to 9 times its original size, and nobody could explain why the water kept coming from somewhere no one could find. Engineers assumed rainfall. More rain, higher lake, simple. But the math didn't work. The volume rising each year was far more than the sky was delivering, so they drilled. What they found underneath changed everything. Devil's Lake sits directly above a buried aquifer system, a network of ancient water trapped in glacial till thousands of years before your grandparents were born. That water had been sealed under pressure, waiting. And something down there had started pushing it upward, feeding the lake from below like a wound that won't stop bleeding, no matter how many times the surface gets pumped dry. Here's the part that made hydrologists stop sleeping. This wasn't a leak, it was a connection. Seismic studies of the basin floor revealed fractures in the bedrock running deeper than anyone expected, threading down past the till and into older rock layers that shouldn't be talking to the surface at all. The lake wasn't just collecting rain and snowmelt anymore. It was tapping into something buried, something old, something with pressure behind it that had nowhere else to go. And the moment that connection opened, the lake stopped behaving like a lake. It started behaving like a valve. So the state did what people always do when water threatens to erase them. They fought back with concrete. In 2005, engineers built an outlet, a man-made channel designed to finally let Devil's Lake drain into the Cheyenne River, something nature had refused to do for 11,000 years. It should have worked. For a while, it did. But the lake kept rising faster than the outlet could empty it, because the outlet could only handle what was visible at the surface. It could do nothing about what was pushing up from below. That's the part nobody tells you. You can build a way out for water. You cannot build a way out for pressure. And this is where it stops being a story about North Dakota. Closed basins like Devil's Lake exist all over the world. And so does the same mechanism sitting underneath ordinary neighborhoods that have never made the news. A perched water table, sealed by clay or rock beneath a house, can rise for years without a single visible sign, because the surface tells you nothing about what's happening 40 feet down. Basements flood not because it rained too much that week, but because pressure that built up over a decade finally found the weakest point to break through. Your foundation isn't just resting on dirt. In the wrong geology, it's resting on the lid of something with nowhere else to go. The water in Devil's Lake also turned vile in a way scientists didn't predict. Trapped for so long against expanding shorelines, it concentrated dissolved salts and sulfur pulled up from the ancient till, until parts of the lake began to smell of rotten eggs and kill off fish that couldn't tolerate the shift. A lake that refuses to leave doesn't stay clean. It stagnates, concentrates, and slowly turns toxic to everything that depends on it, the same way trapped water anywhere eventually does when it has no way to flush itself out and start over. Today the lake's rise has slowed, but it has never reversed to where it started, and the fractures that fed it have never been fully mapped. Nobody knows exactly how deep that connection runs, or what else it might be linked to underneath the rest of the continent. So the question isn't whether Devil's Lake will rise again. It's whether the same kind of hidden connection is already sitting under a town nobody's checked yet, quietly filling, waiting for the one wet season that finally tips it over the edge.